Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So we got some breaking news. Terry Mclaurin, the Washington Commanders, one of their franchise players, the guy that's been with this team for a long time through three different names, he has requested a trade. And I never thought that this time would come where he requests a trade. We're going to talk about why I don't think it's a huge deal and just to calm you guys down a little bit. But obviously, it is a deal. I mean, the fact that we got to this point is ridiculous. It's ridiculous on both sides. It really is. I think Adam Peters and company, they should have gotten this done way earlier. I think they could have gotten it done earlier in the offseason in, not May, March, February ish. But, they both the sides were a little bit too far away from each other. One side wants too much and the other side wants to, lowball. It's both sides, guys. It's both sides. And I'll go ahead and pull up some of the information here. But yes, he has requested a trade. And I'm going to say hi to you guys in the chat. But the trade request is made within the last 30 minutes. And it's shocking. And this is what a Twitter account's saying. And I agree. It's shocking that we've reached this point, just stunning. And there has been teams that have been complimented. Sorry. Or they just spelled it wrong, which messed me up. Making a move for disgruntled Terry Mclaurin, but the Commanders have had no interest in moving on from it. So yes, even though he requested the trade, they're not trying to trade him. And Josh says, what percent chance do you think they trade him? I would say close to zero. I mean, obviously it's a little bit higher than zero just because he requested the trade. I just don't see it getting to that point. So maybe 5%. He's too important for this team, for the city, for this locker room, for them to trade him. It's not. I would be very shocked. And if they do trade him, then yeah, we got some issues with Adam Peters and company. And again, this is not just on Adam Peters. Terry Mclaurin and his agent have played a part in it. But I think at the end of the day, you got to pay the man, and you got to, one of the sides got to, they got to bend a little bit. So maybe Terry wants 35. I understand him because DK got paid 33, right? DK got paid 33. So I understand why Terry wants 35, but the Steelers overpaid. Let's keep it a buck. The Steelers overpaid for DK Metcalf, and you can't expect the Commanders to pay him 35. But then also, you can't expect Terry to accept 22, 23 million dollars a year, 24. I got 200 people in here. Everyone hit that like button. Let's get that like button up to 100. So yeah, I think the agent is part of it. Getting to Terry a little bit, saying, you shouldn't accept anything lower than 36, whatever. Because if you look at his client list, a lot of people have been talking about it. He doesn't have a lot of top clients. A lot of his, Terry's the top client by far. I think the next guy is someone on the Panthers. And then he also has Jeremy Chin, who's one of the higher up, guys on the list. So, I mean, Terry's is like make or break. Like his percentage, his check, his bag for life is going to be from this Terry Mclaurin deal. So he wants to squeeze every single dollar out of it that he can, which I understand, but you got to do what's best for your client. And sometimes, doing all this, getting all this extra drama isn't worth it. And with any other receiver, this was in negotiations that aren't going well, this is expected. This happens all the time. I mean, Deebo Samuel requested a trade. Brandon Ayuk requested a trade. T. Higgins, I believe, at some point requested a trade. A lot of these players request a trade, but I never thought Terry would be, one of those players. So for me, the fact that we've gotten to this point is crazy. And trade stuff, guys, like I don't even want to talk about teams or anything like that because whatever we get in a Terry Terry trade is not going to be worth it. Teams aren't going to value him as much as we do, and as much, I mean, definitely not as much as I do. I think you're going to get, you're not going to get a lot for Terry McLaurin. Obviously, you're going to get, you're going to get draft picks, but you're not going to get as much as I think some of you guys think. You're not getting multiple first-round picks. You might get a first-round pick, but yeah. So for me, I really think that, I don't know, this is obviously a negotiation tactic. You're putting more pressure on the franchise. Everyone is going to see this. All these teams are going to see this. The fans are going to be going crazy at training camp this week and weekend. So it's putting more and more pressure on the team. I think it is ridiculous. I've been on Team Terry like almost the whole time. And I do understand part of it with I understand part of it with the agent stuff. I really do. But at the end of the day, this guy is your offense. Besides Jaden Daniels, like, he is your offense. And letting him go, not paying him, it is ridiculous. And I've told everyone who's asked me about this, right? The longer you wait with these contract negotiations, the more you're going to have to pay your guy. And I think that in February, March, Terry would have accepted $28 million because the market was similar to that. But then DK Metcalf, Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, someone else got paid too. Like, just a lot of guys that got paid. It brings up the, market and stuff like that. So, maybe Terry wanted 34 plus million from the jump. And if that's the case, all right, it's not on Adam Peters. I just don't think that's the case, because if he was wanting $35 million in January, that's like the second highest paid receiver in the league. I don't believe that was the case. Also, guys, we got 400 people in here with only 50 likes. Everyone hit that like button. Let's get to 150. And I know some of y'all aren't subscribed. Really good Commanders content every single day, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. But yeah, the agent, I think, definitely is playing a part into it. I think he is playing a part into it. I think if they offer him 31, 32, I think that would be able to get it done. And I think that's reasonable on both sides. It's just ridiculous. It's gotten to this point, and both sides are way too stubborn. Because I was hearing, the Commanders are offering Terry like a little bit more than he's making right now, 23, 24. That's ridiculous. But then Terry wanting 35, 36, which is, what we've heard, is also ridiculous. So it's a little bit of both sides, in this situation. But I think that sometimes you have to pay a little bit of a premium, and it's fine doing that when you have a quarterback on a rookie deal. You're able to, maybe pay a little bit more money than you want to, even if it's $1 or $2 million. You're able to do it. So for me, 31, 32, even 33 is fine. Just pay the guy. Pay him. Like you guys said, Fearless said that. Some of you guys don't want to pay him. And I keep looking on Twitter, guys, just to see if I hear or see any more information right now, just so I can update you guys. But it is what it is. There's a lot of JP just tweeted a lot of players request trades. Brandon Ayuk, I talked about Deebo Samuel. I think T. Higgins, Myles Garrett, Jonathan Taylor, Lamar Jackson. So what happens? It's a negotiation tactic, but the fact that it got to this point with Terry McLaurin out of all people is crazy. Someone said, we're about to pay Jaden soon. The thing is here, all right, if you extend Terry 3 years, that would put him under contract for the next 4 years. Jaden has 4 more years if they pick up the deal on his contract. So it would work out perfectly. Pay him 29. He's old. 35 is way too much. I think 35 is too much. So I think around that 30 mark is good. 30, 31 mil, 32 max I would give. The max I would do is 33 million and $1. And you can also, the way you can bridge the gap a little bit, you can give whatever let's say 30, right? And then add some incentives if he can hit 1,200, 1,300 yards, which he's never hit, and maybe 10 plus touchdowns, he gets a little bit more money. That's a way to, make it work. Woody says a little more than Sutton is worth it. Too much, then it's not. I mean, I think a significant more than Sutton. He's getting 23. I think you got, at least 28, 29. But it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think he should get paid. Marvin, I know what you're saying. They might get it done earlier than that, but the rookie deal is still in place. So that would make it so that the Terry deal wouldn't really, overlap with Jaden's second contract. So, the way, at least I'm pretty sure he would still be on his rookie deal for a little bit. And yeah, I don't even know how much Jaden's getting. It's going to be 60, 70 plus mil by the time that happens. But I understand people are frustrated. There's people frustrated with Terry. There's people frustrated with Adam. And the thing is, I've kept saying until probably about 2 weeks ago that, eventually it's going to get done. I still think it's going to get done. I think it's part of the negotiation tactics here. But again, the fact they've gotten to this point shows that it's not good. It's not going good. Like, this is like a last resort for Terry McLaurin. This is the last resort. And no one ever thought this would happen. And it's ridiculous. I really think it's ridiculous on both sides here, on Terry McLaurin's agent and also, Adam Peters and company, because yes, it is what it is. Maybe he's over, he's asking for a little bit too much. But again, that's Adam Peters has to find a way to, make it work. That's part of his job there. And if it's like a crazy, ridiculous ask, like Terry's asking 37, 38 million, then it's, obviously not going to work. And at that point, it's Adam Peters' job to pay Terry, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. I don't think Terry is asking for that much. I don't know. His agent seems a little off in terms of, how he kind of operates versus some other agents. But I think that they just got to get it done. And one of the sides has to budge. So, Terry, he's got to go down a little bit. Adam Peters and company, they got to go up a little bit, because if they keep playing these childish games and one side's at 25, one side's at 35, guys, come on. Both sides here, they're both adults, and you guys both know what the other side is offering is ridiculous. Like 25 for Terry McLaurin, he deserves a lot more than that. And 35, it's not what Terry should get at this point. He's 29 and 35 is too much. And I know DK Metcalf contract that kind of ruined things a little bit, but even so, like, Terry doesn't, shouldn't get too much more than that considering DK's age. I think Terry's better, of course, than DK Metcalf, but I think, in that $30 to $32 million, that is the move. Ryan, let's see what Ryan says. Appreciate that, Denier. Ryan says nothing childish on Peters' end. Wide receivers aren't worth over 25. Maybe you're saying you don't think wide receivers are worth 25, but the market disagrees. Jamar Chase got, a lot of these receivers are getting paid more. But again, if you're saying that they're not worth 25, okay, that's, we can agree to disagree on that. I think Terry is worth more than 25. And I think the $25 million offer-ish that's going around is pretty ridiculous. But again, we can agree to disagree on that. And yeah, Terry McLaurin, if he left, that would be, absolutely devastating. I think that's a lot of players or a lot of fans, that's their favorite player is Terry McLaurin. Yeah, that's their favorite player. It's Jaden, Terry McLaurin. And it's crazy we've gotten here. I can't envision Terry McLaurin on another team. This guy is a commander for life. That's what I always thought. And again, for it to get to this point is crazy. 470 people in here. Every single one of you, hit the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. It's free. It takes 1 second. Appreciate all of y'all, all the channel members. Any donations help out a ton. There's fans from other teams too in here. Some Patriots fans wanting Terry to come to New England. I don't think it's going to get, he's going to get traded. Comment down below your percent chance of things happening versus, in terms of how much percent chance of him getting traded and what are the chances of him getting a contract extension before the start of the season. Yeah, I think the Patriots will overpay. And yeah, I could see Terry getting a new agent. I could see him getting really frustrated about this, or maybe someone from, someone in the football world that he's close with but isn't in his inner circle or agent circle kind of tells him, all right, bro, like, I know you like this agent. I'm pretty sure he's from the same hometown as him or state or whatever, but you got to let go of this guy. He's clearly not doing what you need him to do. It's, you should have gotten an extension 6 months ago. And the fact that it hasn't gotten done is an indictment, on your agent. So you got to figure this out. I think, you got to get a new agent. I think that's what, someone should do in his life. And then hopefully with a new agent, if there's a new agent and things are still going on like this, then, maybe it's Terry that's the issue, but I think it's more on Adam Peters and company. So we're going to have to wait and see. It's obviously, this is not good news. This is not good news at all. Terry is as mature as it can get. I know some people are starting to hate on him, saying he's a diva, blah, blah, blah. But the dude is, one of the best leaders there is. He's a really good person. I mean, the guy's at training camp and signing a bunch of autographs. I've interacted with him. He's a really cool guy, really nice guy. What about Terry for Drake London and picks? I don't know. Paul, come on now. He said clickbait. He never said he wants out. He requested a trade. That's exactly what happened, dude. You can say whatever you want. That's what happened. Terry Mclaurin requests a trade from the Commanders. Does that mean he wants out? No. But that means that he's really frustrated with the situation. And he's basically saying, hey, I want to stay here. But if we're not getting the deal done, then get me out of here. And that's kind of what it is. And there's been a few trade requests over the last 2 years between receivers, and I've mentioned all of them: T. Higgins, Deebo Samuel, and Ayuk. None of them were traded in the year which they made the request. And now Mclaurin is asking to get traded. So I don't know. When this is all over, would love to get some insight kind of, into both sides on what happened. I mean, obviously, to get an extension done, they're probably both a little bit happy. So they're not going to really air the dirty laundry out there, but I'm sure there will be reports, and obviously we'll get them number what it is. And if it's like 32, 30, I don't know. We're going to have to see. But I think, this is going to be, these next couple weeks are big weeks. And yeah, these next couple weeks are big weeks. I don't know. I guess the next step is Terry just, he has that ankle injury. He's not really hurt. He can not get off that list and just stay on that list for the rest of the season and not play any games. I don't know exactly how that works in terms of the money and how much money he would lose out on, but that is something that's something that they could do, that he could do and his camp could do if they're not able to, get that done. That would be the last straw, and obviously the worst case scenario. And at that point, I think, Adam Peters and company, they got to just, bite the bullet a little bit and add a couple million to their offer, because your Super Bowl window is now these next 4 years. I mean, hopefully after that too, but right now you have Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract. So, you want to maximize that. And 4 years you have with, Jaden under contract. Just try to maximize that. And you're not winning the Super Bowl this year without Terry McLaurin. I'm sorry, you're not. This receiving core is not good enough unless Jalen Lane is, has a Puka Nacua type of season, which I don't think is going to happen. Seize up. Appreciate the $2 donation. Says Josh Allen to Terry McLaurin would be fire. Dude, I really hope he doesn't go there. But, I mean, it would be a nice connection for sure. But We do not want that here. At least in this chat, Commanders fans, we don't want that to happen. We want it to be a Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin connection. But I understand why every team in the league wants him. Every team in the league wants him. Dude, really appreciate that donation. Helps out a ton. Let's see. Fishbase says he ain't going anywhere. It's a bad play by Terry and his team. I mean, you could look at it like that. It's just putting more pressure on the front office. If, he's done all these things in terms of holding out, nothing really happens. Now he's requesting a trade. Hopefully something happens. He's just trying to, get something done to where, all right, maybe me doing this will make them change their offer a little bit. Again, I don't know. I don't know what this will do, but they just, come on now. They got to just get in a room. And some of these guys, it's got to be Adam Peters, Terry McLaurin, and no one else, not even the agent. Terry and Adam Peters lock the door. Do not let Terry leave until they get a contract. They can sleep there, whatever. Just, get the contract done. So, that's honest. I'm not even joking about that. I would do that. If you want to, bring in the agent, bring in DQ, whatever, but they got to do that, and they'll leave when they get the deal done. So I think that's what they got to do, because it seems like it's a lack of communication. And at this point, guys, like, all the feelings that could be hurt, it's happened. They've done all this stuff. Terry's gone public with it. Whatever, the team's not paying them, they're not happy about it, Terry's not happy about it. Let them just communicate. I don't see anything bad that could happen there. And if it doesn't work, then I guess it doesn't work, and you can do it some other time. Mr. Romby, man, appreciate the $2 donation. Says appreciate coverage, Pedro. Again, Mr. Romby, OG, been watching the channel for a minute, a long time. So appreciate you, bro. And thank you for that donation. And hopefully they can get this Terry deal done. But that would be my strategy. They can keep both of these sides playing the games. Terry not, Terry expecting too much, and then Adam and them kind of lowballing them, and then them not really wanting to talk. Like, let's get this done, and get in a room and get it done. And yeah, this has happened with other 49ers players. Ayuk was late. I believe Debo was late. Not completely sure on that one. I know Nick Bosa was late. So it has, this is kind of a, pattern with Adam Peters and them. And we got 330 people in here, 161 likes. Let's get that to 200. It's free, guys. We can easily do it. And, subscribe too if you're not subscribed. Let's see. Any other, let's see. Appreciate it. Bring it. Give us a great trade package. I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see. But I doubt, it's going to be anything crazy. Dead by D says Pats will happily pay him 33. That's the thing. These other teams are going to pay him, man. These other teams are going to pay him, and especially teams like the Pats that are a little bit more desperate for wide receivers and they have a young quarterback on a rookie deal. They're willing to overpay. So, 33, I think, yeah, the Pats would easily be able to do that. But it's just really, really disappointing, guys. It's really disappointing that it's gotten to this point. It really is. It's super disappointing where you got a player like Terry. It's a no-brainer. You got to extend him. And, hopefully the best case scenario in all of this is that it's the agent's fault, because that means it's not really a product of Adam Peters and them being, ridiculous. And then it's also not necessarily Terry being greedy. It's more the agent kind of messing things up. That's what I would, love to happen. And then they, move on from the agent. Terry does, they get a new one and the deal gets done. But I still think there's some fault on both of these sides here with the low ball offers, the extreme offers in terms of how much, Terry and his side wants. So I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see, but I'm not liking this. It keeps getting worse every single week. It gets worse and worse and worse. Commanders don't have much leverage besides like, all right, you're not going to get paid if you don't play. But I think, Terry being like, I'm not going to play is more leverage than they have, because if he doesn't play, they're not winning the Super Bowl. They're not winning a Super Bowl. They can get close maybe, but he's their offense. Him and Jaden Daniels are the offense, and Debo's cool, and he's good, but you're not really, Debo as your wide receiver one in the year 2025. That's not ideal. That's not ideal. So let's see any other information here. We'll go ahead and look at it. JP Finley just retweeting a tweet saying it was done in the last 30 minutes. Some Myles Garrett information and stuff. Let's see any other stuff. I'm just trying to figure this out for y'all. I understand the frustration at the team, at the player. It is what it is. Bring It says a team still has the leverage. I mean, again, both sides have a little bit of leverage here, but I understand where you're going with that. He says, so it's on Buddy to find us a trade deal. Are you saying the agent? I don't know. If he doesn't play, then he doesn't make a dime while losing money to fines. That makes zero financial sense. Unless he can, milk this ankle injury he has, and then he does, because he's not getting fined right now. He's not getting fined right now because he's on the PUP list. So him on the PUP list means he's getting that money. I don't know about game checks, but for sure he's getting paid for being at training camp. So I would assume that carries over to the regular season, but they might have to like redo a physical or something like that to reevaluate the situation. So yeah, Washington football says we will make it out of the first round with Terry. I could agree with that. I could agree with that. Maybe with just because of how good Jaden is, we can do it. But I don't know. Brittany says, can we tag him in the interim? I mean, right now, no. You can tag him next off season when he is officially a free agent. But again, that's too far in the future right now, and it wouldn't really accomplish much. No one really wants to get tagged. It gives you another year of control for the team, but that's really it. So for the player, it's not good. And then the team also, you only have a year of control and the money's fully guaranteed, which, the team can't really do much to move around that cap space. So, teams don't love to do it. It's a last resort. My guess, I'll go, just because it's been trending down a lot, I'll go 93% that Terry's here for this season and gets an extension, 7% that he's not. And if we're counting a scenario where he is on the team, just doesn't play, but, on the team doesn't play without an extension, if we're counting that, I'll say like 70%, like 75% that he gets an extension done, maybe 15%, 20%, let's go 20% that he is on the team, is just not playing, and then 5% that he gets traded. That's my, whole guess there. We'll go ahead. That's my guess, is that he's going to be here. But Slickman says he's asking for $79 million a year. No, he's not. He's not asking for $79 million a year. There's no official report on what he's asking. It's more like, people have thrown out like $35-36 million a year is what he's asking for. But those reports aren't official, just like the reports that the team's offering him like 24-25 mil. Those reports are unofficial too. And Kelly Max says, how many times has Terry shown up? Yeah, he's shown up so many times, play after play after play. Let's see, pay Terry. I agree, man. I agree. We got to pay Terry. And, he's a franchise. Jaden Daniels is the franchise, but after that, it's Terry McLaurin. The guy's been here through so much stuff. I mean, so many different quarterbacks, name changes, owners, and then, just so many allegations on this team. And he has been here the whole time. And he hasn't really complained. And, it's just, It's ridiculous. The guy should get paid. And, it's not just because of pity, for everything he's had to go through here. The guy's a dang good player. And he just had one of the best years of his career last year, if not the best. I mean, yardage wise, no. But, I mean, the guy had 13 touchdowns last year. I mean, he made play after play after play. When you needed a big play, it was Terry McLaurin who made the play for you. And to not have him this year, would be really, really bad. Again, I think he's going to get paid. Kenny P says, Pedro thinking like Dan Snyder. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Obviously, it's not a compliment. So expand there a little bit on your thoughts, because I don't really get what you're saying there. Adam Peters is overrated, plain and simple. We'll wait before at least I say that. We got to wait and see what Adam Peters does and what the resolution is on this. Again, a lot of these deals that he's been making, or that the 49ers made, were late in the offseason. So, just we got to wait a little bit. We got to wait a little bit before, we go crazy on Adam Peters and say that, he is a problem. So 28-ish, 3 years. That's fine. I don't know if Terry would accept that, but that's not a crazy, like, disrespectful offer. I think if they offer him like 31, 32, he'll take it. We got 230 people in here. We got less than 230 likes, 176 likes. Hit that like button, guys. It's free. Subscribe. It's free. Chat. I appreciate all y'all, even if y'all are talking ish. I appreciate y'all. Honestly, I appreciate y'all because it helps out the algorithm. And if you guys are watching on replay, appreciate it too. How many GMs last year we won because of Terry? Games. I can name 8 games. I mean, there was a lot of games that Terry was a big reason why we won the game. So again, I understand everyone's frustration. I'm sure there'll be more updates, but again, the thing is that, like, besides there's no real update on this besides the Commanders trade him, or maybe like, all right, the Commanders are fielding offers for Terry McLaurin. That's really the updates. Let's see. Diana Rossini said, from a successful GM in the NFL, Washington is too late. Could have avoided game of chicken now. Either tell him you're not trading him or figure it out. This is getting close to the Reddick situation. And I mean, I don't know about that part. But the first part, I agree. They took way too long to not trade, way too long to pay the guy. And it's ridiculous that it's gotten to this point. And I think, that's partly on the team right there. So I actually agree with this. I really do. I think if they would have paid him earlier, it would have been all done. It would have been all done. And it is what it is. We need Terry off. Yeah, I mean, some of these guys, hey, everyone has their own opinion. Again, I appreciate all y'all for being here. But saying that he's a diva or whatever, he's not that good. The man is good, man. He's very good. Let's see. I can't be mad. This is last card to pull. If they sign T-Mac, no next year. Deal for Debo, we'll see. Give him $35 million. Hey, if they give him 35, he's taking it. He's taking it. Someone says save money for Parsons. I would love Parsons, but it's not happening. He's not going to make it out of Dallas. And even if he does, they'll find a way to, make sure he doesn't come to the Commanders. And it's not going to happen. I wish, I know people don't like him, but Micah Parsons would be a stud here, but he's not going to get traded here or signed here. But yeah, it is what it is. And I accidentally exited out of the live, so we're going to have to go over here somewhere. But give me your thoughts, on the whole situation, what you think's going to happen. For me, I think it's still going to get done, but some of these reports that we're starting to get, it's, starting to get a little bit concerning, just a little bit concerning. And you don't want it to get to, a point of, it continues to get worse and worse. And that's where we are right now. That is where we are right now. Terry can be a diva. He has been, big time. Yeah. I mean, first of all, I don't think he's a diva, he's still going to training camp. He's being nice and everything. He hasn't really said anything crazy publicly about the team. That again, that is crazy because he's frustrated, obviously, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And I've been ahead of this. I've said it, not in terms of it getting to this point, but I've been saying for like a month or more now, if you paid him earlier, this would not have happened. And they don't listen to me, man. They don't listen to me. I don't blame them though. I'm just a random guy sitting on his chair, streaming here. But yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Appreciate all y'all for coming through, and hopefully, the Commanders are able to get this done. And Terry McLaurin is a Commander for life. Peace, guys.